off the rip, that's the way to do it. And as I think our desk was talking about, Virtuspro, they like a slow start. They like to take it nice and calm early on in games, maybe bleed some around now.
But my question, Mike, so I think the desk was bringing this up a little bit.
Okay.
Alan especially was talking about that they're less so slow starters in series, but more slow starters in tournaments. Do you think we've gotten to the point where this squad is warmed up and they can just come out hitting here, or are we going to see that same kind of lead-up time within the maps?
To be honest, I think they're slow starters in everything. Virtuspro, the quintessential, long game, 16-14, every round possible, bled out of it. That's kind of how they roll.
It is, and well, Buster has found a nice little opener. YEKINDAR able to grab that MAC-10, but it's immediate re-rotation for Cole. They'll head below.
Yeah, they know what's going on here. They saw enough players, sniffed it out, and this is going to be pretty tough to make anything happen with just the pistols. Even the MAC-10 coming back in towards the site, no armor. It's just a tough spot, right? Getting that one kill is something, but Grim's not going to be too worried since it was just the MAC-10 lost. And now Complexity should be well safe to set up here with the rifles, just plant their feet, and take through a second round.
Any more damage would be good, and YEKINDAR with the MAC-10 would look good to do so, but all the space is being held, so Complexity, an early conversion on towards their second.
Now this could be a little bit interesting. Pistols all rotating around in towards spawn. They're going to try and catch some damage on the exit here. FaNg will be holding for it. Obviously, they don't have to go too far forward. So do they overplay their hand? FaNg doesn't need that fight, and he'll back away from it. Should be fine now. And Floppy even just wants to dip in for one little confidence kill.
Junior's having fun.
Giggling.
Giggling.
I mean, that's good. You remember how long it took them to crack some smiles in yesterday's series? There was some tension on their faces.
I mean, you can tell a lot from the cams. You can tell a lot about the mentality. And once they were having fun, once they were just kind of going with the flow, just letting the calling come through, the players were hitting, I mean, things started to look really good. And Complexity, well, we normally don't know this squad, even when they were as extra salt, weren't tending to be super slow starters. Maybe they were a little earlier in the event. Now they're starting to get warmed on up into things and look hot. Early in this one, it's a strong buy for VP. Just Jame holding on to the MAC-10.
The 1x bet odds really tell the story there, which is that for Complexity, it's important to get these early conditions going well.
Yeah.
Because this is Virtuspro. Everything is going to be tough here. YEKINDAR is going to go one and done, though. Trades out JT. And that does mean that FaNg has a lot of control out towards long. And without the op in James' hands just yet, their ability to contest long is somewhat limited with the SMG on the field.
Flit will try and reply with a little bit of spam damage back on through, but nothing doing, nothing contesting till now. Flit takes one for free. That's FaNg to fall now. Options start to get a little limited for Cole, because Jame has closed the gap and plays just on the other side of the smoke towards bathrooms. Still a minute though. Cut noise, you can re-exec this if you're Complexity utility to do so. Is that the call for Jame to go forward? Was just a flash, he wanted to check. Doesn't commit to the duel. Should be at least good for one here, but Floppy, ooh, too tight in. Jame was not prepared. Flit's given away his position, so has to retreat back onto the site. Time is still here for Cole, but they're going for it, and Grim dies off the entry. Flit holds close, doubles down onto it. Junior, last man up, and he knows where Buster is. The other man is flanking. Junior has to go quickly in this one, and he's just not fast enough. Qikert from behind gets VP going.
Huge round from Flit. Huge round from Flit. Multiple situations where, I mean, obviously the first one's a spam through smoke. Sure, a bit of a gamble, but he plays the angle nicely. This round here, with the flashbang in his eyes, really Grim should probably clear him out, but kill doesn't come through quick enough. Yeah. Flit manages to stay alive for 2, and that just is the complete change in the round. That's the difference maker. That is the piece that sends Virtuspro up to their first round win. And you're already going to see limitations for Complexity, which is interesting. FaNg stuck on towards the Tech 9. He's the guy who was dropping 30-plus bombs in every map last night. You don't really want to see him limited in terms of the weaponry, but at least for this round, they'll stick to the tech.
They don't want to go too fast with it. Early on, just contesting the space over towards water, trying to set up for a B split. JT, the flash was there, but Buster, the supportive line. Qikert will not fall, and that damage aforementioned already done to Grim through the wall on the spam, so Complexity are forced to reset. Already, they have position to re-clear. Both FaNg and Grim working together to reclaim space out towards the bathroom, but notice in long, YEKINDAR's there, and he has good information.
such a potential nightmare player for them to deal with as well if he gets in towards the flank, which looks like might be the plan. A little slip into the bathroom. Suddenly, there's a wolf among the sheep. For now, at least. He'll keep his paws stationary. And now, Complexity seem like they do want to execute on towards this site, but James could be the first contact. That op so deadly. He's got in his hands now. D-Lore on the field, and he'll only get one. Caught out by the flashbang. Pressure on. Big kill for FaNg, but YEKINDAR, he was here the whole time. And he's going to keep them from being comfortable, keep them from having easy space, even backing away. Give himself a safe haven. That bomb needs to be planted. They still have to be wary of the player dumpster. They're all surrounded. Players are everywhere. Qikert takes one for free.
Yeah, that's good. Junior again in the clutch, but through the smoke comes Buster. It's a shutdown. Big work in that round from YEKINDAR. Finds a space early on, the information that nothing is coming from long. And then after getting his first pick, he retreats, has a smoke to sustain, and the pressure is applied then from 3 angles. Complexity doesn't know where to look. They're already at a man disadvantage, and that should be the tipping point. Cole back down to the save.
The op wasn't recovered, though. That's a little bit of a problem for Virtuspro. They won't have the big green for Jame, but they'll go to the SMG, try and make some money, and presumably they'll be able to reinvest pretty quickly. Shouldn't be a major concern. YEKINDAR going to go aggressive here. He wants to make some money, spots all the players. Nade goes down. Does he get away in time? Eventually. He will be dropped, but does his damage in the first place. Couple kills with the SMG. Now money's made. Junior again. The man alive. He's got a rifle at least to play with. He spotted one. Well, Buster does not want to give him the fight. There's no real reason to. And there's still minute 25, so Junior has some options. He could back up. That's being held by Flit. There are no easy spaces to go towards, so he'll take a fight, and it's a fight he'll lose.
Well controlled out of VP. Losing a couple players, unfortunate, but one of those was only invested into the SMG, so that rebuy should be able to come through. Qikert can drop over an op, or I believe it was YEKINDAR instead. Actually made the purchase. Regardless, Big Green back out in the hands of Jame. And not one to reply on the side of Cole. Money still in a bit of a shaky spot for them.
Don't know as well that you necessarily need to go towards the op on the T side. Because one of the things that you can make work against Virtuspro is upsetting them with some pace. They don't tend to get caught off guard that often, but if you hit fast enough, sometimes you can coax them into the save early. And for that, the rifles might be better suited. Jame does tick that Molotov, so there's an audio cue that somebody was up on the steps, and he'll have to back away and give up the position.
Still, it's an interesting priority shift versus that game against Heat. They were constantly trying to get Junior onto his T-sided op, making it a priority, especially in that ancient match. But it makes sense against VP.
Grim keeps getting tagged by panel spam. Just getting unlucko.
Yeah.
Not catastrophic this time, and he did actually return some, so maybe a chance, but look at this positioning. YEKINDAR again deep towards long, but this time a player's maybe coming out dry in the bathrooms. FaNg, is he going to catch the flank?
He should do.
Does YEKINDAR react? No, he's backing away.
Not a commitment.
Does he call that that's clear now? His team's not grouping with him, so it won't matter, but YEKINDAR can maybe get fast on the flank now.
He can get behind FaNg now. Counter rotation, he might even be able to catch the T on the stairs.
Just
timing eludes him. YEKINDAR now has information. This should call for the stack towards B, and indeed, it is to come. They execute soon, but Jame posted. AWP on the line. The Flames take care of JT. Now Qikert in close. The support is from the back, and nothing doing just yet for Complexity. Even just to spam straight away. At Qikert's feet lies the bomb, and there's just been no reply. They can't even find a single millimeter of space. Junior just has to wait on the fate of the smoke, and even that, unsuccessful. YEKINDAR's information, massive. Complexity walked into a death trap and got nothing for it.
That's really discouraging, because again, this is Complexity's map pick, right? And that's just, that's your B take. It's pretty straightforward. Even if you're in a 4v5 after JT's lost initially, this should be pretty well drilled. And at least early on, a bit disappointing. Now, admittedly, YEKINDAR's flank, huge for getting that information. They had the 4-stack there. They had everything working for them for Virtuspro, but if there was an execution coming, we did not really see it from Complexity. It didn't work.
No.
So, timeout going to be called early on here. Obviously, that didn't go according to plan, and they will try and reroute whatever aspect was loose. Resolder some wires. I don't know what it is. But get them back into it.
Well, TC acting as that mechanic, getting some new ideas into the conversation here for Complexity, but
I think I trust TC to work on a car. I think I would.
I think I would too.
He's a doctor, you know.
Really?
Yeah, he has a medical degree.
And Blaise an engineer. We have so many smart people in CS.
Yeah, what are they doing with
and now
this
both
game?
and both of us didn't go to college.
I went.
You just dropped out. That's almost worse. At least you got some of the knowledge.
You wound me.
I'm sorry.
Well, we can't all be Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Mimi, so, you know, gotta make do with what we got.
FaNg? He's trying to make do with the Deagle, and he will eat some chip damage. Down to 8 HP, but it's a rifle to be recovered. Molly goes deep. Grim is spotted for Flit, so it's some info. Swinging back the direction of Virtuspro, but Grim, he's considering a hunt for more. It'll be Flit instead going aggro. The flash was forward. Now Grim wants to hunt, but it doesn't work out, so that recovered rifle lost again. The odds are even, but Jame is here. I believe he spots out JT. Maybe missed the timing. But YEKINDAR will know. Out towards long. FaNg down. Jame on the retreat. And YEKINDAR as well continues to be a nuisance every round. This man is just making himself trouble, and it's a spray away. Double for YEKINDAR. Floppy alone, and he has the flank. He's got the shot, but now he's revealed. And at that range, you cannot best Jame.
That kill's pretty much a consolation prize. It's like, well, we didn't win the round, but at least I can shoot YEKINDAR in the back. Get something going there. The man himself up to 100, over 100 ADR at this point. 3 kills in that last round. 8 and 5. Not bad at all.
No.
He's going to pick up the AUG here. Okay. That's interesting with his playstyle. Where's he going to go with it? He's been playing out towards long quite a bit. He'll go towards long again. I'm curious if he holds further back now that he's got the AUG. Or if we see him maneuvering again. Doesn't seem like for the moment he's going to be slowed down much. And no, he will go forward.
Cole does still want to fight for this space, but YEKINDAR is in so deep. He'll hold on this off angle, and does Cole want to test it? They've left one player in the playground, but everyone else retreating.
And now he's just zoned out this entire side of the map, right?
Yeah.
He's got so much vision. He sees these flashes coming over. He just knows no one's behind it.
And again, look at the reply. You have someone out towards the connector, so Flit can just leave. He can head again towards this lower site. This is almost the exact same situation we saw earlier. This time, Cole, you can only hope they've changed up their execute, but early indications are rough. Buster finds one retreat, not available. Grim finds a trade, but it's Qikert. His position in the pit could be crucial, and now it has to be, but it's Grim entering with a triple and even fighting forward for more. VP, do they even want to go for this? It's Jame. AWP in hand. Surely it's a save.
This is going to be a save. Brilliant Grim entries there. I actually thought the setup for Virtuspro was quite good. Buster obviously repositioning at an awkward time. Gets caught with util in hand, jumping over the railing to try and get in towards water. But still, snappy shooting from Grim. It's those kind of moments that you need if you're a team like Complexity to maybe shock you out of this early round slide. And Grim delivers. Brings a bit of the star power they're hoping to get out of many of these young players. And gets Complexity at least the third on the board. Still plenty of money to reinvest, and obviously Virtuspro likely saving these 2 guns through. Certainly saving these 2 guns through. We'll view this as just a minor stumbling block.
It's a young team overall for Complexity. Lots of the NA talent that we've seen around the block. 21 years of age, the average across these boys, and the aggression does not work out. So YEKINDAR only loses the AUG in the process. Is VP now still in the lead at 5, but Complexity able to fight back in just a tad and starting to build up an economy.
Something to work with. Something to work with going forward, for sure. But obviously deep pocketbooks over there for Virtuspro. They'll go away from the AUG. That early information was valuable, but they still couldn't complete the round win. This time it's fast towards B again. Complexity feel like they've identified a weakness. They want to pressure it early. They want to get up close. While some nades are sailing in, they're not doing substantial damage just yet. Actually, no damage just yet. So Virtuspro trying to hold this at bay. Pressure coming on in. Big kill for JT. He gets the better of him this time. That's a second entry coming through. Flit's now back into the corner by Graffiti, calling for help, calling for the cavalry, but do the cavalry want to come to his aid? This bomb's down with Flit now gone. I think they're going to be beating another hasty retreat. It's Jame time, if I'm not mistaken.
He'll hold on to the angle for a moment, see if Complexity will give him a kill. And Jame would love a little bit of eco damage, something to deny the flawless finish on this round. But regardless, you're absolutely right, Cole. They've found a weaker position. That B site looking vulnerable. Same utility pushed by Virtuspro, same aggression out of YEKINDAR early on to take that space. This time, though, there wasn't enough time. to rotate on in for that stack. Only 3 players to hold, and the early flashes were just so excellent. You win that duel by Monster, and then it's just Grim. Again, just scaling your way on into the site. Floppy the one to find the kills. JT as well helping out, but the space creation aspect is huge.
Yeah, JT's starting to get a feel for perhaps for how they're playing Monster, right? Now we've had 2 rounds in a row where players have gotten caught off on that timing.
Sure.
JT, I mean, he tweeted about it last night, was not hitting yesterday.
It's true.
And it happens. We don't usually get too hard on IGLs when that happens to them, but when he is hitting a little bit more, he can be a good space creator for his team. You're usually looking to FaNg to make a ton of that room, a ton of that space, but JT's a player who will throw himself into the sacrifice to try and do the one-for-one, the one-and-done trade type situation to give his team a little something to work with. And if those are working, it does make life a lot easier for your compadres. A timeout's going to be called here from Virtuspro early on. They do not want to allow this to get out of hand, and they should have enough money to invest around here without too much of a difficulty, but this is the round where you really have to make something happen. This is where the money starts to deplete.
I'm looking towards Jame. If they're going to invest into the AWP, do they have money for it? Qikert can drop one over.
It's down on the ground.
Okay.
He saved it from last round.
Oh, yeah. He did. I forgot. We're talking about Jame. Why wouldn't he already
Why
have
does
one?
Qikert have the A for it still equipped? That's interesting to me.
One of the decisions that has been made, but back to my point, with this op in the hands of Jame, I want to see him reposition, find something a little earlier towards me. He's not the most aggressive guy, but he's competent at holding angles, and you're right, he's repositioned, ready for this B play. YEKINDAR will still apply the pressure towards that upper site, keep complexity at bay, and try and funnel them into this AWP.
I think he was literally holding for the quad boost to see if it would come through from the other side for a moment. They didn't do it, but it's not a bad gamble early on, and obviously plenty of time.
Again.
And they're going fast. They're going fast, so he's here. JT gets the opener again, but this time the response comes swiftly. Dancing around the pillar, Buster's claimed.
Jame's in trouble.
Now 3-on-3 on the site.
No Jame time here. He has to commit to the duels, really, but it's a 3 versus 3. His positioning is massive, and Flick's there to aid. Now it has to be the off. Shot misses. FaNg's opened it up. YEKINDAR not in a position to win this. It's a 1v3, though. Damage done. Not sure how much of that is confirmed or not. He'll at least give it a poke. Try and find another frag on the retreat. FaNg just below. But he doesn't know. The information lacking. The fall away. Another round conceded here. Complexity abusing that B-bomb site.
Third round in a row. Third round in a row for Complexity to get their entries there. And I mean, uncharacteristic misses, right? Flit and Jame both with an opportunity to punish the player. FaNg swinging around, and he gets away with the kills. 3 kills, 9 and 5 already. Just shy of a kill around. He's heating up. And he is a player, we were talking about it last night, he's something of a win condition for Complexity, where he's obviously enormously talented. You saw it last night in the series against Team, popping off for multiple frags. If he's there, not only does he get the kills, period, but he creates so much space for the team. He allows them to do so many things that if he's hitting, if he's on point, this becomes a much more dangerous squad. Now they've got a chance to pull into the lead, and it's going to be limited weaponry arrayed against them.
Let's see if Cole will go back at that B site, or if it'll be some kind of a reset. Nope. They're straight back to it. Where's the rifle of YEKINDAR? Maybe in a bit of a better position to aid in the fight this time. He'll be in the back site. And he has teammates in close. Just the pistols. But there's the swing. YEKINDAR. He finds a double, and Qikert has been here the whole time. He's held off Monster with a mag 7, not even to be contested. So now Cole, they're in a position. 2 men down, lacking space. Flit wins it with a USP. Obscene, but Grim. The timing, there's a man just on the other side of the smoke, and now Grim's shown it.
He's trying to bait a player coming down the steps, right, is what he's really trying to find, but he's going to run out of room here. And the question is, can Jame catch him with the CZ off guard?
This is the round.
Yes, he can.
Jame might have just closed it. Junior only has this AWP. It's a 1 versus 5. This has all gone wrong. An eco going in. Junior shows his position. It's pistols. You hunt these. If you're Virtuspro, you don't get that up onto a save, and Junior realizes it. He'll throw it off the map.
I love that detail. He knows Jame wants it. You can't have it if I can't have it. Throw it away. Now he's going to try and get it done with the Tech 9. Might even better serve him in these faster movements. Made some steps here, so he's been heard, and YEKINDAR is ready for that all day, every day. 3 kills found. And the adjustment there for Virtuspro, right, is we've got the limited weaponry. They've just been hitting B, so let's gamble B, and let's move YEKINDAR into the site immediately. So instead of him having to come into a hopeless retake, he's just there to kill immediately as they hit.
Yeah. That initial double, ridiculous out of him, and then the reposition, even just to find the close onto Junior. Money is going to be feeling pretty darn good for these CTs now, off winning that eco. And Complexity's starting to feel the hurt. They'll put a little bit more emphasis on the upper side of the map here, but Jame has repositioned. He'll self-boost himself up top of the flower pot and hold this line. They're coming straight into him, but Jame, another miss.
Not necessarily so polished with the op right now, but locking down Connector will make life easier, and he'll get more opportunities. They've taken that long control, but now they have some security. They control the rotations at the very least. YEKINDAR with a forward angle. This is going to bring the cavalry back up, at least in the form of Flit. He'll come in to support. Jim getting a little more aggressive around the bathrooms, and now the presence from Long is going to be critical here. They're taking that first corner. If they can find Flit, they've got a bomb plant.
At least. And they have a good position in towards the post plant, but that is a big if. Because Flit has utility to sustain. Nade to force them back. Molly to sustain. Sure, the smoke fades, but time has been bought.
Still 50 seconds.
Yeah. But there's players in a position to cut this rotation. YEKINDAR, he'll be fast up on this flank if the hit comes, and Cole's trying for it. Utility reigns on in. They're still stalled for a moment, but you're right. VP conceding. Now the Molly to fade. Does VP want to go fast with the retake, or do they give the space? Wait for that flank. YEKINDAR, he's the one holding in the backlines, but it's Flit from Bank. He had fallen off the site, and still he's finding impact. Sprays away at one. Bomb plant does come down, but in the post-complexity disadvantage of two, Floppy knows that something is wrong in towards the connector, and he wants to clear up, but the timing is awful, and he's made steps. He's a dead man walking, and his only teammate, it's Junior on the site, and the op, well, it hits. It's not enough.
What patience shown from YEKINDAR. What patience. Floppy thought he cleared it. Thought he had it controlled. Thought he was not going to be concerned at all. And the thing is, if YEKINDAR loses that fight, it's not a bad post plant for Complexity. They can slink into the bathrooms. They can play the op off the timing. Doesn't work out. Doesn't work out there. So that's going to be a big CT hold coming through for VP. And so much of that is about the patience there. That's impressive.
Tough one to lose for Complexity. Will they just try and go back to this B hit again? Seems likely. It's been their only point of success on their choice of overpass. So again, contesting space out towards water, but does VP have the same info? Yeah, look at YEKINDAR on the map. He's all the way up in playground. Sure, Jame is being contested, but he's found a frag. Gets away with it too. The run back is great. And now Cole's options again limited. Look at the map control. They're losing it all. They have to run out now, and JT's in trouble. He's giving it away. Qikert is in close. This can be a double swing, and surely he's dead. Trades there. Qikert for another. Bomb is on the floor. And Grim again alone. A 1 versus 4. Bomb unrecoverable. Just one smoke on his belt. And he's locked in. If you want to exit back through water, well, YEKINDAR is there. He's been flanking through this whole entire time. And while Grim has found one, he's just not prepared for the secondary angle. So VP bolster the lead to 3.
And now the money's running out. You still got some cash, but bomb plant's not coming through. Complexity aren't getting as much of an easy road on this. They are going to invest in, but limitations. Major limitations. A scout for Junior. Suboptimal.
To say the least.
Look, 5 rounds on this T side of Overpass against Virtuspro maybe isn't the worst thing in the world, but considering it's your map pick, considering the situation
but remember
we had,
also,
and dropping around to an eco.
Yeah,
it's not good.
But consider also Complexity have looked so much better on their T sides.
True.
Consistently throughout this event. And sure, we have not, I don't think we've seen their overpass yet, at least in this tournament. So, could be incorrect on that one, but it's tough to put all your faith, all your eggs into that one basket if you're Complexity. Another round here, 6 could go a long way, and that's the start. JT takes down YEKINDAR. Now space starting to open up towards A. Still, 2 players anchoring back here, one of which is Jame, but he'll concede the line for now. Flit fighting forward. Plays on Optimus, trying to spray. They've revealed him. So now the fight, it has to be forced. That's one. Trades instantaneous. And James not in a position to help. Coming out on top for the T's. Cuts it down just to 1.
Oh, it's a bomb.
But James is still there. And he's found the bomb. Now recovered onto a rifle for the 1 versus 1. And he's wrapping back around.
It dropped all the way down the stairs as well.
Junior has to fight this. He has a flash. He has a smoke. But James has the angle. Hits a shot. not the finish. Jame needs this. He's trying to find the swing. It's desperation. But the onus, it's fully on Junior, and the nade might just finish it. At least it forces Junior forward more. But the wrap, Junior's not ready for this. The timing, it could elude him. Jame coming all the way back around, but Junior's made it out. He'll tuck his way in towards his sight. And now the information game, well, it's to the favor of the American. Jame could cut the rotation off the dice box. Now both players know the opponent's position, and Jame, the health advantage, the jump up, and the finish. Jame will clutch, and it's Jame. You don't even go for the defuse. You want your op back.
They got enough money that he's going to go for the AK over it. I was thinking about it. As we head into the final round of the half. Well done there. A duel between two oppers, both on the rifles. A bomb plant at least will give something here for complexity, but that's going to be one they'd rather have back. Maybe FaNg a bit too aggressive chasing that kill, but he wanted to seal the deal. And he gave up the opportunity as a result. Big clutch for Jame. 11-5 is the man. And of course, the op comes back out here as Virtuspro try and end this half with just one more dub to put 2 digits on the scoreboard. Jame will take this initial fight, peering over the smokes, and they are present. But a nade and some chunky utility damage is all he's going to be able to do with that.
Buster even has some space out towards water here.
This could be another quick B exec when the smoke fades.
Yeah, might just be. They want to re-clear at least some more space because, again, YEKINDAR has worked his way in. He's found this information. It'll call for the rotation. Jame is heading lower. This is telegraphed, but the hit's coming. Qikert, Molly, not burning him. He has a gap. He might just have a fight, but the blind's perfection out of floppy on the shot. And Flit cannot get it done. It's floppy for 2. Now, Buster has to be the man to hold. He has some safety, but the flank comes through expediently from Junior. So Jame, the op, the wallbang not happening. So bomb committed down, and it falls to this retake. Some util still, and a fast hit in. Jame has found Grim, isolated in the pit, and FaNg's on 1 HP. Now this gets awkward, because FaNg has fallen, and YEKINDAR has forced so much space forward. He's still wary of someone in close, but instead it's a crossfire. JT on the pillar to find one, but he's low, and Jame has the CZ. His teammate smoked off, and JT down. It's Junior, but he has a molly. He could end it with just the piece of utility. Jame will try desperately to finish, and sure, there's an op, but there's no connection. Complexity at least takes 6 at the half.
We had that final do-over for Junior, right? The 1v1 with Jame. He gets a chance to right the ship. This time he's got a Molotov. Really puts Jame in a tough spot. But see, the 1x bots, I bet odds have not gotten friendlier for complexity after that.
Did you just call them 1x bots?
That's me when I try and make predictions.
I feel that. Maybe a little bit of NA hopium still flowing for some of the betters, but majority on the polar bear train.
I mean, look, this is a pretty standard overpass half, right? 9-6 in a vacuum. And considering complexity flubbed an anti-eco to get into this situation, it's actually not a bad spot to be in at all. But
a pistol round, that could swing things in either direction. It's a chance for Cole if they can open this one up. And it's going to be a hit towards this lower site. 2 players tucked in towards the pit. 3, in fact. All here, floppy. He'll be the first contact, but his teammates fall around him. Still trade. It's instantaneous, and now a little more to be found. Floppy hitting these shots in the supportive line. There are so many players piled up in the pit, and Grim, he's still alive. He's still healthy, and Buster is stuck out on a reload. Heavy presence for complexity, and they hold the line.
The flop don't stop until the beat does drop. He did actually get dropped in that round. But
he did.
Dropped some beats beforehand. Made the flop. I mean, it's a good hold, right? It's a good read from Complexity. You got 3 players bunched up over on that B site. They're ready for this play. They read it 100%. Virtuspro played straight into it. So Complexity clearly prepped for that pistol round. Now they got the SMGs out. 3 of them, to be exact. We still haven't asked them about the MP5. Curious about that. But FaNg's going to get aggressive in the playground, and aggressively he's going to die. Drop straight into it. Just winning dry, no flash, no nothing. Just wanted to see if he could get the space, and YEKINDAR was waiting for him every day of the week. He was ready. Hiding behind the slide, ready to just go whee all the way down.
Slide his way into what could be a victory here on the lesser buy of Virtuspro. Some good space re-cleared, though. Grim will soon be able to tell that long is in fact looking clear. But that could be a bit of misinformation because VP does intend to head their way towards this upper site. JT though, well timed on the push up. The shot's not connecting. 1 HP. He'll limp back on away, and now Junior reestablishing the line towards long. It's Buster in close, and Buster takes him down. So now this is even more awkward. Grim needs something more, but it's only 1. So now we truly have to see, does the flop stop? Because it's a 1v3. And it's a first. But he has so little information. There's a man who's already wrapped close coming towards that A site, and the bomb will just wait. There's plenty of time here for Virtuspro.
I like the
Floppy
talk.
will wait. He just holds for the rotation.
I do like the talk. He has no information to operate off of, so wait until they give you something. Even just a bomb plant to tip you off. Qikert coming up from the other site. Has called that this is clear, so YEKINDAR should be able to get the bomb down. So obviously wary of getting timing here. Oh, nearly did.
No.
Nearly did. Floppy's seen him. Information given over now. He'll start to wrap. But he's still got 2 players to contend with, and YEKINDAR's giving him the slip. They both have now.
Yeah, and look at the utility available for the post plant. Flash for the re-clear Molly as well, but Floppy, he has a smoke. We know he likes to stick these, and he'll now start to apply that pressure. Tap. That's all it will be, trying to draw out a push. Qikert not committing to it, but the wallbang will shut him down. No escape. YEKINDAR now the sole man to spam straight through the smoke. He's got the read. Won't allow Floppy any tomfoolery in this one, as clutch is denied and VP with a minimal investment take down Cole.
YEKINDAR's absurd. 20-9, over 180 yard at this point. And the thing is, right, if you're wondering why we're not making a crazier deal out of this, because they are bonkers numbers, he's made this the expectation.
Yeah.
Right? With the way that he's played, with the standard that he plays at.
He's always performing.
He's insane. But this is particularly bonkers numbers. Obviously, the 3K coming through in that round tips the scales in the favor of Virtuspro. The star power shining when they need it, and he's going to go fast into this. No problem there. Junior already out of play. Why not just chase them down and impose your will?
Flit will line up the first and cut down Grim quite easily. Complexity finding no damage thus far on the round, so Floppy again alone. This time, the clutch feeling a tad more difficult because YEKINDAR has the line. I mean, this kid doesn't miss.
Back-to-back 3Ks. Funny thing is you say this kid, he's older than you.
That is true. He looks very young.
I mean, sure, yeah.
It still feels like hasn't been a huge amount of time that we've got to see this guy pop off, but really it has. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, and he's still performing.
I feel like this last year was the real coming out party. For YEKINDAR.
Yeah, when we had a couple of those crazy runs for VP, shot up the world rankings. I mean, he was a big force of it.
Katowice last year as well was a huge moment for them in terms of the noise that they.
And the thing is, that's coming up for VP, right? Katowice just around the corner for them, and I think this tournament acting is a bit of a pace setter for them. You know, getting the palette lined up, a little bit of an appetizer to see how the team's performing. It's been a while since they've played it. This is their first tournament since the player break, so now coming back into things, they get a little bit of time to warm up before that Kato event.
Gotta brush some rust off, get the gears flowing, let you know what form you're in. And they're in the main event as well, so they won't be playing this week. We'll have to, well, they will. Timelines are hard. They won't be playing in the play-in stage. They will be in the main event. Jame, just going to back away there. Obviously, he's low now. No reason to stay in the fray. And these pistol players will be cleaned up. No problem.
Complexity, too, though. This is their event to show their squad to be respected, to be appreciated heading into that main event.
I do think making the playoffs here was the expectation for them,
That's
right?
fair.
That's something they had to deliver on. Maybe some of those
I think
early
top
results.
4 was the requirement.
Yes.
If they could make finals, that's where we get impressive.
And against Virtuspro of all teams, against the team that you're looking at as the most dangerous team on paper headed into this event.
For sure.
That would be a truly impressive one. This round, they'll have the guns to try and do it. That's a bit of a shaky smoke, but YEKINDAR is still going to be able to carry forward.
FaNg wants to fight for this, but it'll be Grim instead with the opportunity. Flit shuts down so much the attention to YEKINDAR that we're forgetting what a performance this guy has found. 17-11 thus far, early days still within this second half. But Junior has an op. It's yet to be revealed, and he's holding the right line, but the utility, it's too good. Junior forced away off the smoke, and now a reset for VP. Minute 20 still on the clock. Man advantage. Options abound.
Come out connector here. Pressure's going to be onto those B-side players. What can they do with it? My question as well is how quickly can Junior get into position? He's already setting himself up to be able to pull the quick rotate, but right now it looks like he's info jumping. And it's information that he won't find. Virtuspro, plenty of seconds still to bleed off the clock, to whittle down to a finely edged point. And now they're going to come on in. Floppy will be the point person. Player already outside of Monster. Oh, he's seen a shadow. Something's tipped him off. Now the swing in, the flashbang for it, but he's counter flash. Qikert timing that beautifully. Molotov in to make JT uncomfortable, and the B site is under threat.
But again, VP, they've had so much time. Now they have an even bigger advantage. So they stall for a moment, wait for the fade on the smoke. Qikert has walked out. He has flash for support, and he's already in quite deep. What a shot. 1 HP. It's no matter when you adjust like that. And for the 2 remaining players of Complexity, do you even want this fight? The time is low enough that it could still be over, and FaNg's found a double. But the last frag to elude him. YEKINDAR keeps things safe. And VP find 13. That was the opportunity for Complexity to swing this into favor. It slipped them by. Now they're probably looking at a 7-8 round deficit before they can get a real buy, a real chance again.
That's going to be tough. You are very much going to be on the back foot here, and you're seeing Overpass just slip away from you, your map pick in this series, and Dust 2, a map that hasn't looked comfortable for you so far. Next on the docket. Very concerning. Gonna be some pressure and connector here to maybe try and find a kill with these pistols. Just condense some of the angles, make something work out. We've seen the Deagles be deadly, but it's been a little while since. And Qikert will start the party.
Junior, not quite able to get the shot off in time. YEKINDAR again, finding these crucial entries for his squad. Flit is wary that something could be up over towards the connector, so he'll look to lock down this space. FaNg's coming though. A shot here. This AK is alone. It could be isolated, but Flit keeps things under wraps, keeps things under control, and just buys time for YEKINDAR to come in, the cavalry, to find the final frag. And again, it is Floppy alone. Another 1v5 to be attempted. And this one looking impossible. YEKINDAR has already seen him. He knows about 2 players, but Floppy's just not hitting these shots. And somehow, he's still alive. It's just staving off the inevitable, which will soon come. The hands of Buster to deal the damage. A flawless round for VP. They're on their 14th.
Time for the do or die. Time for the do or die. It happens in this round, or Virtuspro waltz straight through. And I mean, this is the VP that we expect, right? There's not a whole lot of errors, and when you make the mistakes, when you expose opportunities like the second round where YEKINDAR pulls out the Deagle kill, and then suddenly things start to snowball away from you, they're so good at punishing. They've got the firepower. You've got YEKINDAR at 27 kills. 27 kills. We've only played 21 rounds. You got Flit, not too far behind, sitting on 19. The firepower is working. The pieces are hitting. Everything's looking the way you want it to for Virtuspro, and this is massively encouraging. Grim gonna get chased down, trying to escape. Junior's found damage, and Grim just gives it the slip, so Flit chasing might wind up a little bit overexposed. FaNg's here. No one's here in time to save Grim, though, but they can't get the trade either. Flit hangs on, and now he's in such an annoying spot to deal with. You got to try and pinch. That's going to distract so much focus from the CTs as they attempt to deal with him in the bathrooms.
Junior, oh, the shadow. I think Flit spotted it, but not able to find it into the kill. So, advantage for Complexity, and rotations underway. They have 2 players on this site, and Junior will be here quickly. He can support from the heavens, but it falls to Floppy and JT in close. YEKINDAR for the entry. The trade is swift, but still, there is plenty of time here, Mike.
And oodles of money as well, so no concern really about for this, even for the always cautious VP. James just going to hold on and see if someone gets a little bit too curious and gives him the shot. 35 seconds on the clock. There's still time to work with that off. Just waiting. And the peek out, that gives it to him. Floppy wanted the information, but the trade is there. It's all on to Qikert, and down he goes. Big round for Junior. 4 kills for the man. And that'll at least give them a stay of execution for the time being.
It will, but like you mentioned, that economy is ridiculous. VP won't be feeling it. The shot to get things going there, impressive. Out of Junior, a 4K for him. Across the round, the last couple shots in defense of the bomb site. Buys will be mustered for the remainder of this Complexity squad. And FaNg again will try and hedge his bets towards Party. We saw him do this in the previous round, but still, he ended up kind of isolated. Flip made it past. Things got a little funky instead, though. This round, it'll be both Junior and FaNg working in conjunction. Grim is applying the pressure and a boost up the off angle.
So backing out of it, giving up the space towards connectors, so that's a victory for Complexity to some degree. It means this setup will not be found. And if someone trips on into the crosshair of Junior, that could be punishing a lack of information here. The flip side, though, is if you just get past this, there's a pretty keen path towards that A site. There's the kill coming in. It's YEKINDAR who drops as well. So a big scalp to find. The monster, at least for this round, has been slain. Called Junior the Witcher. And now, it's a question of whether they can capitalize. Nothing really doing for Virtuspro just yet. They've got a bit of long control, but they want to contest this off. That's bold, but it works for Flit. My goodness, just peeking into that, taking that fight, and delivering.
And now FaNg is pressured back. He's trapped in towards the connector. So VP, they have an open range. At least the lineup towards this site. It'll be Grim, the man to defend. He's committed to the duels. Tucked in towards Optimus. Flash, smoke, it's all coming in. Buster spots him and takes him down. FaNg has been activated and comes through on a backstab, but now look at the reply. You have Flit to line up to deny no free passage on this flank so long as Flit stays alive. This duel is critical, and the T's win it. Buster now still forward, holding on the site. There's time to back Jame away. Or no, bomb planted reverse of dice. So they have to stay committed to this site, and Jame, the AWP, has a flash to support. Does the line get established? It will. He's holding. Banks an issue, but Jame misses. Flit applying pressure still. Buster is on this dice box. He has to do something, or JT could win this, but no. It's the crossfire. The lineup VP do so well to hold in the post, and they found themselves map point on their opponent's pick.
And Complexity's depleted. No coins tossed to these folk.
No.
They got nothing. No cash Ola. A few thousand per player to try and make something happen here against a Virtuspro side that has been steamrolling them into the ground since the half switch. So the FaMi will come out in force, in strength. And Flit has been the second beast for this Virtuspro team, right? YEKINDAR goes down immediately. You think maybe they're going to be lacking some firepower here. Flit just swings the op. Just swings the op and deletes it. And from there on out, it's the Virtuspro show.
The Virtuspro show. It's what it feels like. T-side especially has been impressive on this map. We know the squad is strong with it, but the slow play in the mid-round, it's been effective. Complexity have tried different iterations. I actually liked the double aggression. FaNg and Junior working in conjunction to hold that connector, but Flit was just better on the entries. Isolates those players off with utility, and things fall apart again. FaNg will have to hold, but the mollies keep him away. No tag onto him, so his position not necessarily known. In the reswing a possibility, but YEKINDAR again just has the better gun, has the swift aim, and is able to take down FaNg. So Junior, the onus feels like it's on him. He's in a forward position. He's alone, isolated in this one, but his teammates are coming, and it's a knife out. YEKINDAR, he will not survive. But the bomb was never a part of that re-rotation. It is still up over towards A, and it's baited floppy back in towards Qikert. But it's a trade, 1 for 1. And JT has good information here, but now it's awkward. Buster's just on the other side. He's been heard. But Junior's waiting, discipline. Thinks there could be more than one. It's good info. And the timing, it's not right. Buster takes his head off. The swing wasn't quite there. And now Complexity, all their forward positioning, it's been lost. And Flit fights for even more. Grim in the clutch. A 1 versus 3 requisite of this man to keep his team alive on their pick. And he's gambled on what could be the wrong horse. Bomb's not here. Grim re-rotates down below. He has no information. He doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know where to fight. He doesn't even seem to have a chance at a 1 versus 1, but Buster's given it. And Buster wins it. First map, it swings the direction of VP.
Suffocating from VP there. I mean, really, it comes from that eco win, right? From then on, it's just their game all the way through. Complexity unable to get their feet under them, unable to chain any momentum, any rounds. It was abysmal for them. A lot of aggressive plays in the pistol rounds to isolate a fight, isolate a kill, give yourself some sort of an advantage early on. And we've seen it again here on Dust 2. So they end up in the 5v4 right off the rip. And now it's even better. That drops the utility for Virtuspro as well. That's a problem here. The utility's up on the Xbox. Presumably one nade can be retrieved, but they're going to do some work beforehand. And Flit will go about putting in that labor. He's found a Molotov. That's all they've got to work with now from the util spot. And admittedly, with Junior and Goose, the Molly wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he deployed it correctly.
Wouldn't be a bad one at all. Rotation is still being a little bit cut off here in mid, and you're right, the Molly's there, the spread, Junior's burning, has to swing, but somehow he's made it into the site and is still alive, 14 HP. Jame will eventually finish him, but still, remember Buster out towards mid. The hunt is on for him. Floppy whips it around with a 180, finds a shot. Still, it's a post plant for VP.
Bump down, at least some money going forward at a minimum, and now Flit to hold the line. Never mind. Both players deleted defuse on Complexity. Will take through that pistol round. FaNg, a little bit of giggles setting in there.
I think he said, "Did you see that?" or something like that. If I'm a proper lip reader, something along those lines. I'm sure we'll get a look back at the shots.
Are you a proper lip reader?
Not really.
It's not part of your toolkit?
Not really, no. But you know, sometimes you can just tell. And sometimes you can tell, okay, yeah, these are the shots that they were talking about. That is the shot FaNg wanted the rest of his squad to show. Really good way to get started. Very inspired pistol rounds out of Complexity, which you do love to see for this squad. Is the buy-up very solid. Just a scout for Jame on the VP front.
Now, if you recall that pistol round, a little push in towards the playground last map, you may be a bit nervous for Complexity. But they're not going aggressive on this one. They're sitting on their haunches. They're chilling. They're chilling. They don't want to give any of those early opportunities, and they have conceded cat control. So Virtuspro bunched a triple of players. And a fourth to soon join them. This is where the threat's going to come. Jame trying to open things up with the scout. There's one on the other side. Where's Junior got that? Out towards the car. As he comes around, Jame sees nothing. Nothing garnered, and a smoke to chase will shut down that avenue of approach and send them exploring in other directions to try and find that initial kill.
Rework through mid here for VP. No real utility to work with, so if they want to cross mid, it'll be a risk. Still, Jame has that scout, so at range could try and find some impact off it. That's the first tag coming through. Buster down to 1 HP. And Virtuspro now holding on for a moment. Now the push to come through. Again, there's no util in it. Just has to be this death ball at range. It's a connection from both sides. Floppy on one half and his teammates on the other. A single player will fall. And a deagle will be picked up for Buster at very least. But JT should be able to lock this down. Surely nothing more is to come. And nothing more will.
Just about the last bullet in that FAMAS, but it's enough. It's plenty. And Complexity are going to be rocked through with just the one casualty, so the economy can build up here a bit early on. Investment's going to come through from Virtuspro, though, and they've got the AWP right off the rip. Flit going to make some sacrifices to get that gun going. See, he does have an AK down. Okay. Okay. There the investment comes through. Thought the man might be just stuck out in the cold there. But it's all right. And that's a tag early on, so they know the ops on the field, and JT bears the brunt of the damage.
Good start for the side of VP. Already good presence towards the lower tunnels to try and deny any aggression, but Qikert was not quite ready for Grim. So Grim opens things up cleanly. Complexity have another 5v4 to play around. What's the reply out of VP? Previously, it was again to pressure this mid-control. Something that JT has early days done well to deny, and now he has even more support. FaNg is here, and he looks to toy around with this smoke. Make sure no one's getting aggressive on that Xbox. And if the timing's wrong, YEKINDAR could be in trouble, but no. FaNg falls away. It's a reflash in, though, just for a peek.
Well, they're trying to find that pick, right? They were hoping someone was close door, something that they can bring back the numbers with. YEKINDAR, aggressive to find it, wants to open something up for his team. But it's not going to happen. It'll elude him, at least for the moment. They won't give him the threat. Instead, he's going to try and make some noise out catwalk, maybe draw a rotation, maybe draw presence. But the problem is the bulk of this CT defense is still positioned, focused on the tunnels. And a timely Molotov will slow down this take for Virtuspro at the very least. As soon as Floppy pops up, he's going to realize what's happening. And he doesn't even need to see. He can get it off the lineup. The flashbang doesn't matter. He's doing the damage. Flit connects, but they're running out of time. They're running out of clock here, and it's all on to Flit. And there's so much more work to do. He's going to have to back away, save the AWP, and try and beat a hasty retreat to keep this gun alive.
He's being hunted, though. And in the close corner sits Grim. Should be able to hear these footsteps. He's waiting till after time. Wants the full punish on this one. I think Flit didn't actually die before the timer ticked on down. Nope. So a bit of mercy out of Grim.
Perhaps, but no AWP.
No.
That one taken from him. And that means an upgrade for Junior as well. Which is not a bad result here. So Complexity, a nice start here on Dust 2. Virtuspro just really not showing much. I mean, in that last round, right, they lose the initial pick as Grim gets aggressive towards long, and then they spend a long time trying to find something to come back. And Complexity just don't give them an inch.
An inch of JT showing, though. And a bit of chip damage received, but Grim will refight in for the space, knows that a player's isolated. The nade doesn't finish, not even close. No damage taken. So Flit's still rather healthy in this one, as YEKINDAR has gotten himself down below the Xbox. Graham doesn't want to overcommit. Could have been risky, but the CT's retreat.
Could have been dangerous indeed. If they try and re-aggress out towards long, that's another threat. Kikert's found the space. He's bringing in a teammate with him. That's Jame. Jame gets the tag. Softens a player up, but Junior re-establishing control and shutting this down. FaNg lost. Means that the site itself is opened up. Grim has to be careful about this fight. Doesn't have the established health for this. And there's a player down already. Junior had no idea, didn't have the comms, didn't have the awareness. And with Grim faltering, that's the site ripped wide open and a tough retake on deck for JT and Floppy.
There was a moment of risk. The bomb was stuck back away. It's made the rotation, though. Complexity, they pushed all the way out through the B tunnels. But they're not finding anything off this cross. There was a gap, sure, but Floppy cannot capitalize.
They're backing away.
They're saving. It's the reasonable choice, but from such a good start, right? Double opener from the op of Junior. And then he just gets a little lost in the sauce. Someone drops ahead of him. Not able to find the adjustment in time. And on the ramp, the final defender from Cole cannot hold either. This was an opportunity for the early momentum, the early punish for Complexity. It's all been stolen away.
I think that Virtuspro maybe get a little fortunate there, but YEKINDAR is still able to capitalize, and that's what's important for them. Critical kills at critical junctures. So Virtuspro are on the board. This next round will be a huge swing. There's money available for Complexity. They shouldn't have any issues reinvesting here, but it will require that money dump. Will require that cash to come through, and for Virtuspro, here's a chance to crack them early. Oh, that was filthy.
Yeah.
That first deke shot was disgusting.
Yeah, and that's what gives him the deagle. Gives him the opportunity on the drop down. Big stuff out of YEKINDAR. And VP as well starting to look good. 3-1 though. Still the lead for Complexity. They'll take a tactical timeout. Stem the bleeding before it gets too bad. Plenty of money left in the tank, but if you lose this round, things get dangerous.
It's crazy to think that that guy, just that picture, looks so welcoming.
He looks like such a nice guy.
Inspires inspires fear in so many, and it should.
It does. Certainly if you're Complexity.
Yeah.
Because he's just won a round that never should have even been a chance, nearly single-handedly for VP.
Flit as well. Stacking strengths on strengths in this roster. In the arms race of the Counter-Strike world, trying to contend that #1 spot. They need to check the box of this victory first. Junior up close. We'll be watching to see if they get adventurous through mid. There's the smoke for it. He actually gets attacked through door, but he's caught in geometry. Molotov helps keep him safe, and I think the tag on Flit might have persuaded them this was, in fact, a bad idea. They'll have no idea about that damage. But JT finds it, just spamming on through. And now an early advantage is here for Complexity Gaming.
And there's not a lot of space to speak of for Virtuspro. Even some deep utility towards the tunnels. Complexity keeping the pressure on this side of the map. But a minute left on the clock. And utility still in the belts of Virtuspro, but out towards long. Junior has to reposition. He's set up with a crossfire. Ping pong player in the pit. Junior shoots, falls away. The pit strikes. A Viper down below. But the setup's not going to be tested. Instead, YEKINDAR will look to claim space towards the catwalk. At least that's what the early indication was. Commitment, though, a different story. It's VP. They like their timer. They use it to their advantage.
Yeah, they've done this before, right? Try and make a little noise towards catwalk, then come out mid and attempt to split on towards B. So Complexity, at least for now, they're not flinching. They're not hesitating, and it's going to be the right read. Here comes the play once more. Split out B. Try and make their way on through. Smoke for the cross, and here they come. Big first kill, but do they expect FaNg tucked in the corner? They don't at all! FaNg strikes, bites right into them, and he will dismantle the round. Looking for the last as well. It's JT from the car, and a round collected for Complexity.
Instant reply out of Cole, and it was such a nice way to get things started. Junior's AWP again hitting. This time just a tag, but the connection off the wallbang was there, and you never are ready for the second player. VP have tried that multiple times. This time, read into still, though. Money's up. Loss bonus allows it. They'll be able to reinvest into James' AWP. Do they want a faster fight here? They might just. James posted in mid. He's trying to hold for this. And he's found a great angle to connect onto JT. And now Complexity, sure they have space in lower and out towards catwalk, but they've completely lost long. Still, it should be enough to either set themselves up for a strong retake on A or to at least hold for the cross, continue to apply the pressure. That's even if VP wants this. They'll hold for now.
I got the info that no one's in tunnels. They can rotate off of this, leave one player here to hold, and back away to reinforce with long take, and that is going to be the approach for VP, so Complexity need to move quickly if they're going to get into the angle.
Graham.
Whereas Junior, he needs to get posted up. That would be the big advantage, getting the op back in the fray. And Floppy's got the secondary, which is interesting here. Not something he always does. Smoke up to cover the cross. Here comes the play. Grim with the Molotov down, but they're past it, and he's dancing on the grain, but he'll be beaten.
Now a post plant here. And it's double op retake. Unless you get something cleanly, initially for one of these ops, it has to be a save. They're already out of it.
Yeah, no interest. Interestingly, that was JT's first death in the game.
7-1.
Curious note there. Been taking notes from the opera on the other side, one might say. Gets a VP's second round. Clean as well. Not a bullet of damage.
Nothing doing. We're calling this one. My interest is where they're going to place this double up into the next round. Because there wasn't too much committed at all towards the long fight there. It was space conceded over to VP off of what Cole gained early towards the lower tons, but they were never in a position to capitalize off of it. You have a sole player on that A site, and Grim gets just a little too overzealous. Knew the pressure was on him to provide a gap for those ops to establish and hope to find some impact, but he didn't get it done.
I think maybe the idea was, right, after the pick goes on towards JT, you focus your attention towards mid, thinking that maybe they take the space, knowing that they've dropped a player mid doors.
That's true.
And you try and punish it, but
I mean, VP
obviously
have done it before.
VP just immediately slide in towards long, and with that, press towards the side. It works out well. Heavy emphasis on the long fight here, but a player in pit cannot get there. No safe haven. Flashes galore, but YEKINDAR wants to go forward into it. He's losing teammates, but he's gotten past them. It's a bit awkward. FaNg dropped an advantage. Virtuspro.
3-2 now. Junior still holds himself on this line, but he's alone at the car, and utility, it's only a molly to work with. Pressing forward is Junior. Jame on the other side, and the feet, they show.
Tricky to sneak feet past Jame. Always ready for him. JT with that op. Secondary op. But can he be the primary force in this round for complexity? Because right now, he's the only force. That's all they got. Do you believe?
Not quite.
Yeah, I believe he's mostly probably going to try and save this gun.
If he gets another kill, that's great. Deal some damage onto that VP eco, but even that wouldn't find him too much. Better off in just trying to hold this weapon. He is backstabbing, though. If VP keeps stalling, there's a chance he gets something weird going on here. But look at Jame.
Nah, he's just going back.
Yeah, posted on the angle. No commitment.
See, I think Qikert kind of looks like Dinko.
You reckon?
There's a bit of it. Hold on, pull up his cam. Yeah, look at that.
It does.
There's some resemblance. It might be the haircut.
Dinko. JT's dead. Whoa. Survives for a moment. Qikert will
Dinko
close
gets the
things
kill.
on out. Yeah, good work out of him.
Good job, Dinko.
I heard Dinko had a really good HLTV rating. Maybe you guys should check that out.
Does he have one? I'm checking, pulling up the stats right now. Oh, he does. He has a page at least. One match. A show match from 2019.
Rough one for him. Let's just say.
Not a good one.
And a rough round here for complexity. Just USPs to work with, and Jame already strikes blood. What's the rating?
It's 0.7. 0.7, that's rough. YEKINDAR, making sure that his rating's going to keep improving with this one. Eaten 5 after a nice little tasty 3 eco kills.
4-4 now. VP able to tie things on up. Complexity now. Do they even want to commit further into the op? They will buy none into this round. Money does not allow it. Floppy could have. But the utility just a little bit more important. The priority for complexity. My question now is, do they go for another bit of aggression? With the Sevier setup on the rifles, it's 3 out towards long. They want the duel in that direction, but VP's not fighting it this round. They're giving that space. Instead, the emphasis, again, is out towards mid.
Grim's going to get aggressive here. He got a kill very early in the half, and he's taking this control in long house. Qikert just waiting on the other side, though. Ready to punish. Ready to hold for it. Flashbangs through. They're taking this mid control. They're taking this mid presence, and nothing really showing for complexity just yet. Junior even falling off, conceding that space means that YEKINDAR gets forward. They might just find this as a bit of an invitation to go in towards Catwalk. YEKINDAR's going to see what they give him. So far, they're giving him a lot. Nothing seen, though, just yet. Where are these players, Virtuspro, wonder?
Questions that are yet to find an answer, Jame. He's got the angle and he's found the shot. FaNg, unfortunate for him, was only a dink through the wall, and now Grim toys with the idea of aggression, but Qikert is so patient, and Qikert has been holding this entire time. We'll claim the blood. And the final 2 players of Colt, again, trapped out towards B for Floppy especially. This has been a game of saving, a game of playing late in towards these rotations and never having a chance to defend. The save might not even fully be allowed. You already see Virtuspro posturing to deny these weapons. They have the money to do so. I mean, Qikert sitting on a fortune.
They're setting the trap here. Well, Jaws are closing in around complexity. 2 players in the sight. Just Floppy and JT trying to hold the line. Trying to mount a defense with no hope of winning the round itself. Here comes the play. Here comes the peek. There comes the swing, and Flit's got the first. All onto Floppy now, dancing between the flames and the boxes on sight, trying to find something, anything to hold on to, and, well, he will float away to his grave.
And now for complexity. Do you even invest anything off of that? Loss bonus is good, so maybe put some deagles behind this round, hope for the best, but these entries for VP have been so swift. Over towards the catwalk especially, it's been Flit again, stepping up. YEKINDAR and Flit, this duo, putting a ton of impact for Virtuspro. 3 kills in the last round for the new addition, Complexity. They'll take their second tack.
It's been a little while for Complexity, right? So get these pauses in early. You don't want to wind up massively down, requiring another flawless T-side comeback. Want to start to fix some of these issues. Now, what's the antidote? Maybe aggression, right? Obviously, we saw Grim trying to do a little bit of that outside the longhouse, but he was held for it the entire time. There wasn't really much of a chance to do anything with that. So where do you go? This round, not going to be much doing. 5-7s, Deagles, a little something. And aggression in towards lower is going to be the answer for JT. Trying to punish in mid, not going to happen. Not with James Alp on the other side. Maybe something works here, but a spray down for YEKINDAR is good so far, and he will find the second as well. Finally punished, but Junior and Floppy are now in a 2v4 with not a lot to work with.
Shots just not hitting for Junior. Flit won't miss his, and Floppy will fall too. VP, this pacing they're taking has been so punishing for Complexity. That economy has been ripped wide open, but off the save, off the Deagles, reinvestment will come. We need to see something else out of Junior. The death set him up as a win condition, and right now, it's just not happening. There's been no shutdown. The second that James got out this op, he has just been a continual presence, even when it was the double op setup. Cole found practically nothing off of it.
Now, I know in the pregame I said I wanted the JT 40 bomb. He's top of the board right now. It's not an encouraging sign for Complexity because it means some of the other firepowers may be gone missing. There we go. Junior getting a bit more dynamic, but he's only going to get the one. At least he takes Flit out of the round, but it's a flitting moment. And Junior's immediately punished back the other way. James sliding under the crosshair of JT. What a shot there from James. So savvy in his angles. Now pressure's going to be on towards the B-side player. That's Floppy, and he's already done. YEKINDAR can just hold the line here and punish, and Grim has no hope of taking this one. At least he can make sure YEKINDAR cannot just chase with nothing coming back the other way. But this one looks like it's done, and frankly, Qikert hunting up long might still find this last gun.
And you can wrap back tunnels, have someone to pinch this one on off. Grim is in trouble in this one. At least he gets a special delivery. An AK-47 courtesy of YEKINDAR. But the entries from that man, ridiculous. In that round, trade onto Junior, instantaneous, only the head was showing. And then you immediately take that with pace. Run your way up through mid, fight for more frags, completely isolate the sole 2 defenders towards the B side of the map. The site anchor also to be caught off guard. The shot from James especially. Wild in that one. Something needs to change for Cole.
We're not going to get too many more chances to make these changes, right?
No.
Not too many rounds left in this particular half. And this round, you'll just be on the pistols. Just be on the pistols once again on the back foot. This lead is becoming oppressive.
Again, it feels a little similar almost to that series against Heat and their map of Ancient, where the adaptations are so slow. It's just a few rounds behind. VP has already changed up their playstyle by then. But now, maybe something a little more doing. Not to be. YEKINDAR to deny. Sure, the Deeg shots are fantastic, but the reply even more so. And one player has already shown for Complexity. The other's still unknown. That's the man towards the catwalk. But it's just as easy for FaNg. He can't swing this. Bomb will rotate back on over.
It's another monstrous game for YEKINDAR. And he's got this entire site, right? He doesn't know it yet. He hasn't poked his nose in, but they do know they've killed both of the usual B-side anchors. So they got a pretty darn good idea that this is free and clear. James working on getting rid of guns just to make sure nothing can be given over. No easy opportunities given to these players to salvage some weaponry and bring it forward. Oh, speaking of easy opportunities, Junior. Oh no, he's missed his chance. Now they know he's here. Now they're wise to it. Had the element of surprise, could not capitalize. And with that, their dying gasp of hope in this round may have just gone away. The gun's even blown away from the hands of FaNg. That HE, whether intended or not, removes the rifle from his grasp, and now he's been spotted. James got this, and James escorts him to the end.
Not the cleanest round for the VP camp, but still such a good way to reply. Awful initial piece of aggression. YEKINDAR shuts down with the even trades. He even found a third later on in towards that round. Impressive stuff again from YEKINDAR. 16 kills, 132 ADR. It's a one-man mission to deny Complexity anything.
He's incredible. He really is
Auto
incredible.
snipers out for Flit.
And you already think, he's achieved such high heights already, and it just feels like he's getting better. Doesn't feel like he's hit his ceiling. Continues to ascend. So the auto sniper will be left behind. Just having a little bit of fun on the door spam. And the money is flowing to such a degree that they can do that. They can have a little bit of fun. They got plenty of cash. I mean, Qikert's still got 15K. Just chilling in his back pocket. It's a heck of a 401K.
It's quite a chunk of change to hold on to. JT aggression. AWP hits. This is the second attempt at that double up setup, this time in the hands of the IGL instead of in the hands of Floppy. Find success, but the reply, it's fast out of Virtuspro, and FaNg could be in trouble. He's relatively alone on the site. His aid towards long is late on the rotations, but he still takes down YEKINDAR. And now Junior has made it past the smokes and will look to hold alongside his teammate. It's 3 members of Complexity here, the 4th just a hair away, and Floppy finds James. So Flit pressures on him, and he needs something, but the spray does not work. And it's a flawless round. Complexity, they turn the ship 180.
There we go. Heck of a way to build yourself something back into this. And 2 more rounds to contest in the half. They'll get a real chance at it. They'll get the guns to work with. JT's aggressive opping, opening things up is a bit of a shock to the Virtuspro system, and from there it just doesn't get better. So JT still leading the board for his team. Would love one of these stars to come online. But for now, if he has to do it himself, he'll do it himself. Make it happen. Aggression in towards lower. FaNg already into this. Player's past him, and that one gets away. A missed shot as well. JT, they really bet on this play, and the bet did not pay off. Always gamble carefully, folks, and they're going to lose it all.
Just might. But the double down is an opportunity for Grim. Qikert is ready for this. If Grim pushes, he's a dead man. But the same is true for the other side, a standoff. And amid it's the op duel again. Jame, he's just always holding this angle. Top mid, late into the rounds, finding impact. Cole gets greedy. And Grim is rewarded, but damage was done. This might just call for something over towards the B site. Flits in mid. B is open for business. They don't even want it, though. They want these duels instead. Grim will give it to him. He has a nade to go deep. Flit! Alive with 3 HP, and the bomb has turned around. It's rotated to the free site, and Flit has ended things in the 1 versus 1.
Unfortunate the nade doesn't catch. At least Grim gets an opportunity at it. Still an improbable situation. But Virtuspro draw that round back. The bold play in towards lower. They risked a lot upon it. And YEKINDAR rebuffed. So one more round to try and scrape something out of this. The double up is reinvested into. There's a lot of scopes on the other side. Flit rocking the Krieg, I think probably just for this initial spot. Trying to do some damage to the doors. They don't actually, despite many bullets going down range. YEKINDAR's playing with a secondary up on T side. That's interesting.
You have the money, you have the confidence, might as well try something.
The aggro push again, a flashbang for Buster. He doesn't go through with it.
But the noise is made. Complexity have to fall off the play. And now in mid, Grim is wary. But the push hasn't come through yet. It's the right read that something could be going on in this area of the map. And the nade does good damage. Flit chipped down to just 44 HP.
Spot. Jame not going to connect that time. Just a pixel of an angle. Tough to hit here. And time is whittling off the clock. 50 seconds, right? And Virtuspro, they have tunnels control. But not a lot of other information. Nothing long. They're just now starting to establish some presence catwalk. And it does seem like that might be the way this round ends.
Seems to be. And Jame is still holding the cross. FaNg is in close, so can try and backstab this one if the play develops towards the catwalk, but now he's mollied. Will be unable to help his teammates, and Jame is still holding this cross. Grim flash misses, but so too does the shot. A site, though, it's been taken. YEKINDAR working through on this entry. Still, there's a risk factor. Down below in the CT spawn, it's Grim. FaNg to support him, but the plant's coming through. It's It's for the catwalk. But Cole, honestly, well established. They have players in long. They still have players down below, but it's a matter of this re-clear in mid. Qikert is holding that space. And YEKINDAR is contesting out towards long. Floppy will walk up, and Jame will be forced off the angle. So Floppy opens, but the trades, they're excellent. Buster and Flit both coming alive, and the long play completely denied. JT, the final piece to fall. 10 rounds for VP at the half. Well, the NA hopes rely on another unreasonable comeback. It's a 5-10 half. Virtuspro just pounding complexity here on Dust 2.
To be fair, it's a slightly less unreasonable comeback than yesterday. So,
one round.
You know, if you want to catch lightning in a bottle twice here, complexity, now would be the time to do it.
And
say lightning doesn't strike twice, but I believe.
Well, Flit, he's trying to create a storm of his own. Aggressive out towards mid. YEKINDAR as well.
Look at those hots.
Those hots. That is some of the worst hots I have seen. 1.01.
Is that I mean, that's the series, right? Not just the map, I'd assume.
I think that's the series.
My goodness. People do not have the NA opium.
YEKINDAR, though.
Okay. JT
he's
setting
looking
up a smoke.
to get the opium straight on out of here. Flit has a double. It's 3. He'll just tap away. Execution in public, in daylight. There's not a care in the world for this VP squad. Junior has absolutely zero chance. As the breath just gets knocked out of complexity. A flawless pistol for VP.
So if after that first half, Complexity was on life support, I think Flit just unplugged the machine. My goodness. Snappy
Stunning.
shooting. Considering he was tagged early on, right? Just fearless. Fearless with that oosp. Little oospis. Just works good. Many shots.
And now this buy, less than stellar, to say the least. The double scout, deagles for everyone else. Cole's good with him, but the buy is excellent here on the VP camp. They'll play in pretty safe angles, barring Qikert, who takes a bit of a risk, but off the nade, he'll fall away.
Double scout buy. Look, JT was hitting with the scope in the first half, considering the fact that he majorly outperformed his star upper. That's maybe not concerned, or a little concerning rather, but hey, maybe JT can do it again. He's looking for that shot on the ramp player. This nade's going to be chunky. No, not so much. It's the shot back the other way that's more impactful. Still 2 players here. Ramp and Car, and they're going to be able to set up, and Flit once again is going to be able to stack the kill count. He is racking up the numbers here at the start of the second half, and he wants more. Why not? An ace for Flit.
3K into an ace. 8 kills already in this half.
He just pulled into the lead above YEKINDAR with 2 rounds.
Wild. Wild. And from a pretty large deficit as well. In the kill department, Complexity now, they forced into that last one. The buy here is suboptimal. Tech9's a smoke for floppy, one for JT as well. Where are they sending this one? Rush B, no stop. NA Classic. How much
Molly's
can they
down.
get out of it? No, they're fighting lower
They're
instead.
James got
James
him.
here, he has the MP9, but he only has 1 kill. Sure, it's some money, but a gun given over the nade should finish grim. It will. Qikert from range. Now YEKINDAR up to bat. That's 1. Second to spray away 2. JT didn't even upgrade his gun. Invested into that smoke instead, and now he's in trouble. 1v4, more damage would be great, but VP have this lockdown. Qikert has the swing, and it's 13 found.
So there's a couple kills back for YEKINDAR. He gets to get in on the fun, gets to get in on the action. Been deprived the last couple. Was hungry for it. Virtuspro just need 3 more rounds here to book a final spot, and everything is looking good for VP. Everything's coming up Virtuspro. Junior's got the AWP here, though. They've invested into it. They made it a point of pride, a point of emphasis, and he needs to get something out of the gun this time. FaNg and Grim will get nothing. Burned and shot alive. They're done. They're out. And Qikert's looking to make this even worse. JT at least able to respond here on the weaker rifle of the FAMAS, but he is low, and the advantage is still firmly in favor of Virtuspro.
Jame taking a bit more risk than usual, poking with the USP, but he doesn't overcommit to it. Flash to buy time. YEKINDAR is the man to anchor, and he's been fantastic all day long. Floppy will swing. YEKINDAR will spray. It's labored. Finds it eventually. Junior does trade out, but Flit is here, and JT finds him. The low HP not proving to be an issue, and now the molly to force Jame on back, so it falls to a retake. And an op available, you can toss that over to JT, or Junior can stick with it. No Bogdan's Law here. He wants the duel instead. Will push up towards the catwalk, but he's not ready. A man not there, so the timing could become an issue, but it won't. He fords the river, makes the cross, and now Jame only sees 1, but Buster's taking it down. Junior's position now could prove critical because he's found a freebie, and now it falls to Buster on the cross, the only piece of utility used, and Junior holds the line.
They needed it. They needed it. They needed something out from Junior. And there's a little moment of brilliance. Something to give them around in a moment of desperation, and it does deliver. Considering the early disadvantages, this is quite the recovery in the moment. They'll need a whole lot more from that department. The pressure's coming immediately back in. Double up as well. YEKINDAR opting to go glass cannon here, which is interesting because he spent 78.50, so he dropped 2 guns. Or rather, dropped a gun and bought the up. Either way, it's going to work out. 2 kills, 1 bullet. YEKINDAR making it sing, rewarding the investment with 3 kills. They've taken the site, but at what cost? At what cost? The bomb not even planted just yet, and they are torn to shreds, Mimi.
It's tough. Now Grim has to make a play. He'll charge forward. Timing's good for it if he takes this duel. Jame, just the AWP and the shadow advantage. It all favors Grim. But the time continues to tick, and the op continues to show. Jame still finds a connection with the op. Junior would need another clutch. And this time, he's just not up to that task. Too tall an ask. Virtuspro, a step closer.
It's a gut punch of a round for Complexity, right? They try and accelerate the pace. They find themselves towards the site, and YEKINDAR just says, oh, you thought you had a free site? No, gotta pay the toll to get into this particular spot.
He barely even saw them. The second one, just straight as the smoke bloomed, and Jame hits a no-scope. The ops all finding success. Complexity, a meager buy.
Hey, back against the wall. Series point on the line. And Flit, does he realize the player's already gotten out? He's acting as if they have, so he'll back away, give that space. Long at least taken for Complexity, but what can they do with it?
High-low. Qikert and Flit. Flash good. To force this setup to retreat. Only the long control right now for Cole. They have utility, though, to make this cross. Junior can hold at range with the scout. You have Galils. Close the gap. It's good. Flit, does he want to go through this? There's a flash forward. He'll run in. He'll line up. It's only one. Now Qikert, the pressure's on this man. A gap for his teammate to work around, and Qikert fragging, but Floppy quick to work back in. Now sight that secure, sure. And the bomb's made it across, but the pressure is still applied. VP, they're holding in close. YEKINDAR. Oh, almost gets away, but Junior shuts it down, so now look at the money. It's rough again, and Buster needs a frag towards long. He's found it, so a 2 versus 2. Even the passive Jame might be baited in for this one. Buster, the onus is truly on him. He has the power position in this round, and FaNg will hold for it. Rotation back towards the catwalk, and the timing, it's right. Buster takes a freebie, but does he know about FaNg? On the site, close. He spotted! It's Buster for all 3. It's another retake for VP.
Huge round from Buster. He's been content to sort of settle back in, kick back in his chair, and let his teammates rock the majority of the fragging power in this game so far. But when he's called upon, when his number's up, he delivers to the tune of 3 big kills. And around the, I mean, it's not a clutch, but it kind of felt like it, since Jame didn't really get on the action until right at the tail end there. That's going to be series point found for Virtuspro. Timeout obviously coming in for Complexity. It's do or die here, and first they need to figure out the finances before they even think about how they're going to win this round.
And the financials? The report doesn't look rough.
Doesn't?
Doesn't.
It's all right? Sufficient?
Does.
It does. Okay.
It does. It does.
It's a rough finances. They're going
Maybe the last drop of copium left the NA fan in me, the last bit in my system. Force that out. But either way, VP's looking excellent. This double op setup has been running things home. YEKINDAR looking strong on either the op or on that rifle. Flit performing in that regard as well. And even the lower performers coming up in the clutch. Or at least a clutch. It felt that way as Junior.
That looked like it was on, to be quite frank.
We'll miss out on the tag.
Not going to find it. Leads in towards long. Heavy utility coming through here from the Virtuspro side. They want to establish this space, and Flit actually gets caught out by the blue box, but the pit player distracts, and Qikert gets 2. It's an even exchange, but still it's not the worst thing in the world for Virtuspro, and they've still got Jame towards the site. They might just want to make some noise.
Noise is one thing. Holding on another. But James found himself in the right position. Another flash. The swing, and he's so prepared. Junior is bested, and it's another for Jame. He's just picking away at range, and Floppy's left, but Jame will shut down Virtuspro. They've booked their ticket. They've made it to the finals in impressive standing.
That they have. I mean, an incredible showing from Virtuspro. It's kind of what we expected headed into Dust 2. There was always the hope that Complexity would be able to make something spicier out of that.
Yeah.
But it was a hope. It was a far-flung thought, and